I used to think that if I just got really good, that this would work. Like if the music was undeniable, people would find it. People would find me. But that's just not how this works. Not anymore. This is the Chronicles of Shred, a real-time experiment in rebuilding a music career from scratch. I've been spending a ton of time working on my vocal chops and my guitar chops and content creation. And the content creation really is about getting the word out and getting people interested in what I'm doing, because you can't just throw a song out into the void anymore. You know, there are these new apps that basically you can type a prompt into, like, words. You can say, write me a song about, a chicken that learned how to fly or whatever, and it's going to write you a song. And it's going to write you a good song, a finished, produced song that's ready to be released. And these songs sound pretty good. And I saw a statistic the other day that said that the people using these apps are creating 7 million songs per day. 7 million songs per day. And that at that rate, every 14 days, they double the catalog size of Spotify and Apple Music and wherever they're posting these songs. And so today, it's easier than ever to make music, but it's also harder than ever to get anybody to care that you made music. And you've got about 3 seconds to grab people before they're on to the next thing. And content creation is the same way. And I've had videos get 200,000 views, and I've had videos get 200 views. And it's unfortunately got nothing to do with the quality of the content. It got everything to do with the format. And so I've really started thinking about this. And, now that all of the social medias have the psychic link where all you have to do is think about something and your newsfeed is full of it, I get 100 ads a day for people that are showing you how to beat the algorithm, how to cheat the algorithm, how to win at content creation. And you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars learning how to make a video that might make you $30-$40 if it gets 100,000 views. And the same is true for music. Spotify pays like half a cent for every stream. People getting 1 million streams are getting a check for $50 or $60 or, some ridiculously small amount. And you're lucky to get 1 million streams. I mean, if you make a song and throw it out there and promote it on your social media, I've got like 6,000 followers on Facebook, and that's my biggest platform. And if I throw it out there and all 6,000 people listen to it, well, that might earn me a solid $30 for my effort. For all that time and all the money that I spent on gear and all the time that I spent learning to operate this equipment and play guitar, a wildly successful video from my perspective, or a wildly successful song release might make me $30, $40, $50 if I'm feeling crazy. And so I started looking at how to release music in a way that gets people interested, in a way that might actually produce a successful result. Because part of this, and the big part of this, to be honest, for me, is about fulfilling my dream and fulfilling my calling, I guess I would say, and making the music that I felt like I've wanted to make for my entire life, and getting out there and playing shows and being a singer and living that dream. But the other part of it is, at some point, I got to make some money at it. It's very daunting to look at the numbers and what these things actually pay and realize it's not easy. It's possible, but it's not easy, especially in a rock market. Back in the day, there were like 50 albums a year released or something, and now there's 7 million songs a day. How are you going to get anybody to pay any attention to you at all? And so as I start to think about these things, of course, my newsfeed is full of people selling the solution. There's an overwhelming amount of information out there about how to get that attention. But it's a whole nother skill set. It's a whole nother universe. It's a whole career path on top of singing and guitar and content creation and band management. All of the other things I already have to do. Now I have to learn content strategy on a higher level. I've tried to just create quality content and put it out there and hope that it gets attention. But apparently there's an entire science behind getting this stuff out there and getting the right people to see it. And of course, it involves running paid ads. And so I've really only dug into this because I have started thinking about releasing music. And I've been so focused on getting my skills up to snuff in music production and writing and performance to get a quality product ready to go that I hadn't thought about the right way to do it. And so just to say, hey, my new song's out and drop it on YouTube, you're going to get like 100 views if you're lucky. The goal is to build something bigger than that. And I've been hyper-focused on the music and my ability to do that. And I think a lot of us were taught the same thing growing up. Just focus on the music. If it's good, it'll spread. The cream rises to the top. And that might have been true back then when there was 50 or 100 albums a year coming out and you could get your song on the radio and everybody across the country heard it. Because that's kind of the other thing is there's really no single distribution channel the way that there used to be. You know, country music still has nationwide radio, but rock doesn't. And so if you're doing rock music, man, you are screaming into the void. Being good isn't good enough. You're not just competing on talent anymore. You're competing for that attention. You're competing against an ocean of other bands, and many of them are very good, and even they are struggling because there's just so much out there. And I think this is the part that doesn't get talked about enough. The second skill set, or the third or the fourth skill set, depending on what you're doing. But it's completely separate. It's not just learning to write songs or sing or record. It's learning how to get people to even know the song exists. And it is 100% different game. It's thumbnails, it's titles, it's hooks, it's retention, it's algorithms and ads and timing and platform strategy, because you can't just do a one size fits all. You've got to tailor it to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And it ain't music, but it determines whether the music gets heard. And as somebody that came up old school, all of this internet promotion stuff feels cheesy. You know, it feels like you have to dance like a monkey to get people to pay attention to you. It's not what I signed up for. And I think a lot of people in my age group feel the same way. Like, I want to play guitar and I want to have integrity and you know, I want to sing my songs and I want that to be what I do and I want that to draw people, but it just doesn't work that way anymore. Not even in a local market. There's so much. I mean, I am currently living in a pretty small town in Ohio, and I could name 5 good-sized music venues that are within 10 miles of me out here in the farmlands that host good bands every weekend. And if you want people to pay attention to you, you have to get their attention. It's a hard truth. But you can make the best song of your life and be so proud of it and feel like it connects on all the right levels and with the people who will love it. And it can die in silence. Not because it's not good enough, but because nobody ever saw it. Nobody ever heard it. And that's wild to me. That is wild to me that you could achieve the pinnacle of creation of your life and it could just fade away. And I've been fighting this a little. It feels weird, you know. I like making content. I like making little funny reels. I like doing product reviews. But when it comes down to ad strategy and marketing and getting that attention, it feels manipulative. It feels like I'm paying people to come check me out. It feels like begging a little bit. It feels like asking for it. It feels like cheating. It feels like selling out a little bit. I mean, I know that marketing and networking is essential for music success in the real world, but paying for ads and paying for reach and paying for strategy and paying for playlist placement feels like cheating. It feels like I am having to do sneaky things and dirty things to make this work. But honestly, it's the only way it's going to work. I've got friends right now that are releasing music, and I go back and look in a week, and it's got, 20 views and 3 likes and a comment, and that's not going anywhere. And it could be the greatest song in the world, but it's not going anywhere. And so the entire psychology behind musical success that I grew up with, where you make one great song and the record company hears it and you get a deal and they promote it and put it on the radio, all of that is gone. This is what remains. The gatekeepers are gone, the barriers are gone, but this is the way the game has to be played. I didn't pick up a guitar to learn ad strategy. And I don't come down here and work on creating music thinking, I can't wait to figure out click-through rates. It almost feels like if you focus too much on that side of it, you're doing it wrong, like you're gaming the system. But at the same time, if you ignore it completely, You're choosing to stay invisible. So I think this is the shift for me. It's not music or marketing. It's music and distribution. Because making something good and getting it in front of people are two completely different jobs. And if you're independent, you don't get to ignore one of them. And honestly, one of my bands is signed to a record label, and still, they don't do any of that for us. It's on you. And so if you're an artist, then you're the label. You're the marketing team. You're the distribution strategy. You're all of it. And you have to do what it takes to make it work. And this realization has really kind of opened my eyes as I go through making these podcasts and I see the things that I'm learning. And I realize that really no permission is required and there are no gatekeepers. The field is wide open, but you have to go out there and do it. Nobody's going to do it for you, and there is no point at which you hit a current. Like, you have to push the whole time. And so you're not waiting for salvation. You're not waiting for help. You just got to keep building. You have to do it. And this, unfortunately, is part of it. And this is me realizing what this actually is. So yeah, making music isn't enough. But that doesn't mean it's pointless. It means the job is just bigger than I thought. And I think maybe I'm actually kind of figuring out what it takes to do this. So if you're following this journey, I appreciate you because you're exactly who this is for. I'm going to keep going. Maybe it'll be successful and maybe it won't, but I'm all in now. This is the Chronicles of Shred.